So this is the progress that we made for the nursery. And this is the mattress for the crib. We still gotta paint the crib. But yeah, the theme is gonna be Baby Yoda. Okay, what's up guys? So first off, I know you might be thinking, Josh, you've only been skating for a week. Why do you need another pair of skates? And I would argue that need was not the question that I was thinking of. As I mentioned previously in my other video, the wheels that I had on my razors were wearing down really quick. And I was gonna buy another set of wheels, and I actually wanted to try out, so I was gonna buy another set of wheels and anti-rockers, and bearings, and use that for the Featherlight 3 frame. And I was also gonna buy like a flat frame as well, and a set of wheels, and that would have equated to the same price as another skate that also gave me a flat frame. So it was really more of like, I'm gonna get all the same things that I was looking for the same price, but I still should probably buy the wheels and anti-rockers for my razors, which I have over there. But first, let's get going on what skate I have. Boom. So here's what we got. This is the USD SWAY 60. So 60 millimeter wheels. This is a Kaiser Fluid, I believe Kaiser Fluid 5 frame, which is a flat setup, as opposed to my Razor Colt Coppers, which are a anti-rocker setup. But it's just like the stock anti-rocker setup. So these wheels, 60 millimeters, whereas like the two front and back wheels were 58. Not anymore. Let's see, as far as the sole plates go in comparison to the two, this one does look a little bit wider, but not by like a lot. But this one stays wide a bit more, whereas this one feels a little more narrow, but it also like curves in a little bit. But this boot looks longer. Now this one is, because it's like a 12 to 13, whereas this one's an 11 to 12. So the boot is smaller. What else can I say? This one feels wider than the Razor, yet shorter. So the width almost makes it feel like maybe I won't have the support that I want on my ankles. However, it also makes me think Royales and Torques are gonna be a little bit easier, which I had a lot of trouble learning, and still do, and I haven't learned them fully yet. Outside of that, the liner feels like, I haven't tried a really expensive liner before, but I've tried the stock liner and the Razors, and those are garbage. They were garbage when they started, and they kind of broke in and felt a little bit better, but they're still not good. This one has like a neoprene like front, like toe box, so your toes can relax a little bit. It's still like a size 11 to 12. Ideally, I'm 12 to 13, but I can fit into 11 to 12. Fine, just not like incredibly comfortable. But width-wise, this boot does feel wider. Which is interesting. I like that. Just shorter. Wider, yet shorter. I don't really know what else to say outside of I can't wait to try it, so So the skates so far, these again are the USD SWAY 60s. And my first impression so far is that there's a little more wiggle room in the heel, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. It actually allowed me to, I don't know, have a little bit more control over when I was practicing. I can't remember if there's Torques or, no, it was Royales. Yeah, I was practicing that a little bit ago, and that was the impression that I had. So a little more room in the heel, but it allowed so much needed wiggle room that actually benefits me a little bit. The sole plate is wider, especially in the heel, which is what I like. Well, I did like. And then, let's see, what else? I really like the cuff. It's secure, but also flexible. And there's a little bit more forward lean. Like let me explain. Basically, where the tongue strap is, right there, because I'm lazy. Where the tongue strap is, it allows me to like bend more, I don't know, ankle movement there. It's a little bit easier to flex there. So I noticed that was a little bit different compared to the Razor Colts. Outside of that, the other thing is the obvious one, which is that it's a flat setup as opposed to a anti-rocker setup. I didn't realize how beneficial or much easier it was to grind with more clearance. Who knew? But yeah, so I did realize that it's substantially faster, a lot more maneuverable, which I didn't think, me being a super beginner, was going to be able to tell those things. But it's a lot maneuverable. I actually made it to the top of the mini ramp, so from one side all the way to the other. It wasn't so much of an air out. I did have to like jump, but it was really more of a lift my legs up high so I can clear it situation, rather than like a super nice fly out like I wanted. But it is a lot faster. And then the frame feels really sturdy. Another thing that I noticed is the sound that it made whenever I would land on the ground. It was more of a thud rather than like a rattle. But I think that's just because of my, I don't know, wheels, bearings, I don't know. This stuff on the other ones just need to be tightened. I think that's more operator error. I like the wheels substantially more. The only thing I don't like is the groove right there. It's wide, so I do like it. The H-block, I mean. So it's wide, so I do like that, but I don't necessarily like how, I don't know, it seems kind of pinched to me. And it's not necessarily a bad thing. I think it's just me at my current skill level, I have trouble with that. So when I'm using the Colts, I can kind of like curve my foot a little bit while I'm doing like maybe a front side, and that allows me to almost steer while I'm sliding. And I like that sort of, like, if I sound nasally, it's because I have a cold. Always have a cold. But I can kind of steer on a front side, and it just feels a little bit more comfortable. Whereas this one, because the H-block is narrow, which is obvious because it has 4 wheels as opposed to like 2 big ones and 2 small ones, it makes me like put my foot straight. Like those 2 feet are going to be straight, and that's how they're going to be while I'm grinding on the rail. And I wasn't a huge fan of that, but it seems like more of something that just needs to be an adjustment rather than like, I don't know how to explain it. But I did look at other like flat setups, and I did see some that had like bigger grooves and the H-block, not necessarily deeper, just more width, or like it was a little bit more mellow. I don't think I really like the deep groove, and maybe it's not a deep groove. Maybe I'm just like a total beginner, who knows. But anyway, that was kind of my first impression of it. But so far, I love it. But I think what I might try out, just right now as I'm learning things and because I am a super beginner, is putting 2 of the center wheels on the ground control Featherlight 3s, and then just replacing the anti-rockers with, it's more of like a, I don't know, the stock anti-rocker is more of like a plastic piece rather than an anti-rocker wheel. So replacing those, and then using 2 of the wheels over here, and then not necessarily using the Kaiser frames for right now, just allowing myself to progress a little bit with the anti-rocker setup. And then man, I sound super nasally, but
putting I actually have this urban sort of frame that I have from a skate that was like super old, and the boot was garbage. It was a rollerblade boot, but it was a soft boot rather than a hard boot, and I didn't really like that. But I was able to take the frame off, and I'm gonna see if I can put that frame on the Razor Cult. It looks like it is UFS. It just looks like I might have to take off the sole plate. I didn't really want to do that, but I may have to. I don't know. But yeah, might be using the Razor Cults as the sort of like urban aggressive skate right for the moment, and then the USD Sways as the anti-rocker setup. Yeah, that's just what I think right now I'm gonna do. But anyways, as always, guys, like, comment, subscribe, and I will catch you in another video.